All right, so welcome to another episode of the Real House Husbands of Fantasy Football. So we are going to switch it up again. Rim is getting beat up by work, so let's wish him luck. And Dustin is tied down with the family. So we have Casey again today. What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Nothing
You
much, my
can't see
man.
that if you're just listening. You got Rem here or Atique with the Northern Lights in the background here. It's making me wish we had open skies in Minnesota, to say the least, because watching football around here has been miserable of late. We have nothing else to do.
No worry, I got the Northern Lights in the background, but I just smoked some Northern Lights as well, so it all works out.
Good. Where do we want to start tonight there, Atique?
All righty, so let's jump in with a recap here. Let's jump in with the Real House Husbands of Fantasy Football. So I don't know. I know you actually just acquired your pick back, so I know that you are playing long ball in there. But if you look at the standings, it's very top heavy. Sir Hurts a lot. You got a straight cash homie, which that's your boy DeChronic, Black Star. Yeah, I always thought his team was strong, and I think the surprise to me and everybody was any given Sunday that guy's been moving. But yeah, what do you think about the league so far?
I would agree. Any given Sunday, it was killing me to pull that trade off with him because I knew the implications of what I was about to do. So apologize to the folks who are top heavy in the league, but I still think he was a couple players away. So it worked out for both of us. He got Bijan, got A Chain in the deal. I got a boatload of picks for next year. It kind of made sense on where we're going with it. I know I got a little bit of slack in the chat room on that one. We'll go back to the trades here in a bit, but I would have to say any given Sunday, um, he's coming out strong, stronger than I imagined with that squad, and
Yeah,
I think even more than
I
what he
agree.
did. But no, that's Black Star. Just I think all of us were saying we thought he was going to be a big contender here this year. It's coming up, and now he gets Cooper Cup back. Um, Cousins, even though with JJ going out, that's still going to be a pass heavy offense here over the coming weeks. I think you're going to see KJ Osborne get involved with the offense a lot more with the Vikings. You're going to
Yeah,
see
I think
Addison get more involved. You're going to see
DJ is gonna.
Hawkinson get more involved. I
That's
think
who I think is
Cousins'
gonna
numbers
go
are going to
off. I think
Hawk.
I think Hawk's gonna go off. Not because I'm a homer for Hawk, not a homer like you
Mhm.
because I know you're Minnesota, but I got Hawk everywhere. But security blanket. But I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, my man.
No, no. I was going to say Fields, his schedule coming up is pretty favorable. He's going to have the Vikings coming up this week. That should be another shootout. I think you're going to see him get back on track here this second half of the year, especially with those rushing numbers coming up.
Mhm.
But I think just matchup wise this week, Jay Beast and Sir Huth, I'd never get that one right. Sir Huth a lot. That's gonna be a good one. Should be a pretty close matchup. JB, he's at 2-3 near the bottom, but he has a damn good squad. So it's if
Yeah,
he can get the right matchups here the next couple weeks, I could see him move back up in the top half of the league again. But yeah, it's a little bit of polarized between the top four and bottom four in that league for sure.
yeah. After the top four, it is pretty mudded. Everything is 2 and 3 after the top four. So I really like, to be honest with you, I know we gave him some slack, but I like what Lou has been doing. He's sitting there at 2 and 3 too, and his team is like actually really fighting. Even though we all thought he was going to go for the long haul here, you know, I think I'm actually surprised by him. But yeah, I'm
Keeps throwing me
loving.
off, and he changed his name, so he keeps throwing me off. I forget who Team Sleeper FF is, the most generic name of the damn book.
I think that's by design by him. So I'll take it though. I'll take it. All right. So I'm
His
looking forward.
receiving core, I mean, think about his receiving core. He's got JJ, AJ,
Hmm.
Waddle. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a good big three right
He
there. He's got
he
some
just
good, some decent depth on there too.
he has three number ones plus Tua, who's playing out of his mind this year, quarterback number five overall. So, you know, he's
Even
gonna
Zach
put up
Moss the
points.
last couple weeks. He's
Exactly.
benefited from Zach Moss here too.
Exactly. Logan Thomas going off too. That was a good pickup. He spent $100 on Logan Thomas of FAAB, and I was looking like, "What are you doing?" But it looked like it's paying off right now. So, you know, we're the. I was a dumb one. He's a smart one with that. So I'll definitely
Mm.
give credit where credit is due. But yeah, heads up to him. Heads up to you, Lou.
You gotta love those former Virginia quarterbacks turn tight ends so that they're sixth, seventh year breakouts. So whatever works.
Exactly. I was
So
hoping.
Teague, I want to ask you, what'd you think of the trades this week? We had some pretty big
Woo,
ones go down
it was
in
some
that
kind of
league.
it was crazy trades going around, circuit wide, but in here in the Real House Husbands, I fucking loved it, man. Let me get them pulled up here. Give me 1 second. Let's
Yeah.
see. Here we go.
So while you're pulling that up, I know the big one was the trade with me any given Sunday. So I gave him A Chain and Bijan Robinson, and I got back Petey Boys second, which looks to be a pretty high second. Any given Sunday second, any given Sunday's fourth, my 2024 first, and then which should be probably the top two, top three pick more than
I think it's
likely,
top three.
and then Sir Huthalot's first.
Okay, I didn't see you got two first. I thought you had got one first. But yeah, okay. I mean, it looks good to me. You know, I think the value of players are kind of changing this year. I don't know if you've seen that, but I feel like I've definitely seen that in some trade negotiations I've been having. But I mean, overall, I like the trade. It definitely helps you for what you're trying to do. We all know that you have a fucking farm system wherever you're at. So that helps your farm system. And any given Sunday, we know he's trying to win right now. He's I want to say he's out there grinding hard because I know he's in my DMs every other day, with the offer, and we be going back and forth. But I really like what he has done with his team. Ain't Chain's hurt, but he is set up for now and in the long run if you look at his team. So
Yeah.
I'm actually really proud of any given Sunday. And then what else happened? I know. Oh, that's right. I wanted to thank you for taking Bateman off his hand too, because I got so tired of him offering me Bateman, and I'm pretty sure everybody else did too. So we want to all thank you for doing the league of service for that trade. But I think Downs is going to do pretty good too. All right.
So
What else did
while on the topic of A Chain, where do you value him at right now? I
Ooh,
think he is such a hard one to put. Like if you're going to stack rank him up with the young running backs up and coming, like where do you put him with the Kenneth Walker, the Jameer Gibbs, even the Jonathan Taylor of the world? And I think Bijan's still that RB1 for dynasty purposes, but where do you put A Chain in that mix?
I think with Dynasty, we have to do a little forecasting. And with A Chain, he passes the eye test. It's no doubt about it. So I think when you're a rookie, we're at this point in the league. How many games are we in the league? In the season already?
Five.
Five, and he's second in the league in rushing. I don't think that's a joke. I didn't really buy him coming out. I know Dustin would tell you that, but you know, like I said, I was wrong there. I believe him, and I think in dynasty you have to do forecasting. Like I said, have to have a little vision, and I see him as a high draft pick next year. I think, right now he'll probably be in startups in the second round and, maybe even higher than that, as the season goes on. I mean, once he comes off of IR, but, you know, I think if you could get him now, it's very smart, very smart. What
It's
about you?
interesting because he's kind of given me Jamal Charles vibes from a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
where didn't have much of a start to begin the year, wasn't a super high end draft pick. Charles was, I think, like a fourth or fifth round draft pick. But I mean, when he shoots out there like a cannon.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he's not
mean,
going to profile size wise. I mean, we talked about that one of the first episodes with the boys. He's not going to profile very well size wise, but he doesn't need the touches. I mean, good Lord, he's getting what 6 to 8 yards a touch,
I
if not
mean,
even more.
he has a
I mean,
crazy
it's
combination.
insane in that offense that they have. He's the perfect fit for what they're trying to do.
He's fast and elusive. It's the perfect combination. Like you said, he doesn't need all the touches. So when you like you say, it's Jamal Charles. When you're elusive like that and you're fast, I just thought he was north and south or east and west actually. But you know, put the ball in his hand. He's gonna make a play. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm thinking most startups this year. I was targeting him early second round if he was usually available. Like it's kind of always a toss up with me and Kendra Miller, to be honest, when the season started. And
Mm-hmm.
the main reason for me was as leaning him is for being as big as he can pack a punch. Like
Facts.
he is not that big, but watching SEC games for Texas A&M last year in the SEC, I mean, you had to square up to tackle him. I mean, he can bring it. It's like Pacheco in essence, but with more speed. Yeah.
Did he pop on tape to you last year in college though?
What was that?
Did he pop on tape to you last year in college?
He did. Um, I mean, you see the speed. He is. You see the speed on tape, but I think you didn't notice the size discrepancy as much in college. You knew it existed. What is he? 5'9", 185, 190 pounds. But there's a lot of power behind that small frame behind him. And that's where I felt probably better on him a little bit more than most. Not saying it's still great. If I would have saw this coming, I would have been drafting him probably ahead of Quentin Johnson, like in the 110 range, but
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely paying dividends right now.
Where do you see him going in startups next year?
It's always the hype train when you people want the youth. They want as much as there is in the known in the youth as there is. So I think you're still going to see Bijan going one, and then you're going to have kind of pick your who you like at that point going forward. But I could easily see him going in the top five for running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have a debate in there between. I mean, Taylor's going to need to show something this year. You have Kenneth Walker in that mix. Gibbs, I think you're going to see a nice second half from him. He's going to get more involved in that offense. They don't need him to be as much at this point because of Montgomery and what they've had. No, he just missed his last week. But Gibbs, over the course of the year, you're going to see him get more involved with it. But he's definitely going to be in that top four, top five mix for sure. If he keeps, I mean, this isn't sustainable where he's at right now, but if he ends the year trending where he is, easily top five.
Just reminds me his breakaway speeds reminded me of, you know, Bryce Hall. So let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on because we are just fanboying over the Real House Husbands. So let's see what's going on. And I swear I'm not addicted. You know, I gotta admit I am. You know what I'm trying to do here. I'm stacked with picks
Mm-hmm.
here. So you know, let's take a look. What's going on over here? And I feel like you got a farm system going on over here. I know Dustin and Rim have been battling out, but oh yeah, that's what's up. Double drip. I know. Retirement squad. You know, you are number one. I know because you drafted well, but I'm really surprised that Double Drip and PD Boy over here, they are honestly doing the damn thing over here. Uh, I like Double Drip Squad. Actually, I fucking hate it. I don't know how he's doing what he's doing, but I know he's gonna hurt with
The other
Jefferson
one
out.
we have over here is Pac-Man actually has the most points in the league right now. He's sitting at 3-2. We got 1261, which is 62 higher from the second to most. But he's got Hill, Amon-Ra, Fields is getting hot. Nico Collins has been off to a great start. That's the person we haven't really talked about as much. I know that's been our boy Tectonics, Jim. He liked to talk about early on, but Nico Collins is having one hell of a year. He's a guy that doesn't get talked about nearly as much
I mean, I
as a
think
whole.
no, I
So I
think
think we
nobody
gotta watch
really.
out for Pac-Man. Gotta watch out for Pac-Man in this one.
I think nobody really expected Pac-Man, but I give it to him. He got a decent squad there, and then like you said, retirement squad there. What's going on with Baby
I will
Drip?
say though, Petey Boy, I love Petey Boy because we often draft in similar manner, but I feel like his squad might drop off here.
I
Tyron
want,
Williams, Miles Sanders, Daniel Jones.
oh yeah,
Oof.
that's not sustainable. I agree.
That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable, buddy. But he'll catch some wind here with I think Laporte is still going to have a strong second half. Aston's going to need to step up. DJ Moore just came off a big week, but um, I'm a little concerned with Sanders, Kyron Williams, and company of
I
trying
mean,
to keep that train on the tracks.
he has a lot of good assets that he could sell right now. So now would be the right time to sell a couple of these things. Williams, Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I mean, but he runs his team his way. But yeah, that's definitely not sustainable. I want to take a time. I want to take a little time to shout out Baby Drip. You know, I don't hear him talking that much anymore, so I always gotta let him know that he is always on my mind, and I'm always thinking about him. So I love you, Baby Drip.
Oh, you'll be talking again here. He's got Cooper Cup back now.
Let's take a look. I mean,
God, he's got a hell of a defense out there. Oof.
he
Queen
said
Warner.
defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I
You
like
got
his
Queen,
defense.
Warner, Chase Young. He's been stepping up. I think we're starting to see back to that rookie year of Chase Young. I saw him run down the quarterback a couple times. I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good that Chase Young is back.
Yeah, I like his
And then
defense. I wish
He's got Eckler
the
coming back
receivers
here
were
as
over
well
here.
from the last couple weeks.
I'm not gonna say he ain't got a bad squad. I like his squad. You got DK on the bench too, so strong receiving squad. Got DK, Cooper Cup, D Hop. He's gonna have some trouble in the future, but I like his defense. Defense is the scoring. The IDP scoring over here isn't as strong, so I don't weigh too much in that personally. But yeah, I like his squad. He's still a pussy, but I like his squad. Uh, let's see here. I don't know,
Can I ask
man.
you another value question on
Sure,
players on draft capital?
go right ahead.
Where, how would you stack rank? I just had a debate on the phone with a buddy on this. Stack rank in Dynasty, the big three rookie running backs. You got AR-15, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, but I also want to add to the mix Brock Purdy. How would you stack rank those four right now in Dynasty?
Are you considering Brock Purdy a rookie? I will
Just for the fun
probably,
of it. Just for
I
the fun of
probably
the exercise. Because I feel
CJ.
like you could intermix him with each one of those in terms of he's out of the fold. But if you were going to say Brock Purdy or Bryce Young right now, I think that's a tough debate.
I like that question because I was actually stuck on Brock Purdy earlier today. A thought on him, but I will go CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, AR-15, Bryce Young. Right now, that's right now. But
Right now.
uh, I think Bryce is a long-term project. You remember Peyton Manning? His first year, he was, what did Dion like to say, hot garbage. And you know, Bryce is hot garbage right now. But he's going to take some time to get acclimated to the NFL speed, the NFL size, the NFL strength. He's just a smaller player, but that doesn't mean he can't play. He has to get acclimated to it. And it just looks like the game is too fast for him. But I've been watching Bryce since modern day. He is him. And you just have to, invest in him and he'll come around. But as of right
Well,
now,
and I think the other part too is you have such a young receiving core
oh
there
yeah, that is
outside of
another part
Thielen.
of it.
I mean,
Yeah,
Thielen, for him to be the go-to guy, his number one option,
it's
in and
crazy.
out. Don't get me wrong. I grew up 20 minutes from Adam
Hmm.
Thielen. I'm the biggest Adam Thielen supporter there is, but
But that's
he's
insane.
not a number
Yeah,
one guy. He's not the alpha. He's not a
yeah,
guy that you can carry a team around for. They're making do with what they have. So when Mingo gets up to speed, Terrence Marshall's been a long, long, long time coming.
you still
They
believe in
just need
Terrence
more help
Marshall?
on the outside for it. They need more help on a receiver for it. And unfortunately, they traded some pretty significant draft capital. But if you think of someone like, hey, what if they were able to get a T. Higgins this offseason, right? Get someone to come in who can be that number one for him. He needs more help.
Yeah, you'll definitely see a jump from him once he gets that number one. Like a lot of players, like when Josh Allen got Diggs and when Jalen Hurts got AJ Brown. So you'll definitely see a jump from him. That's a very good point. The weapons around him as well. Well, yeah, I
So
was
you put
wrong.
Purdy at two? You put
Yeah,
Purdy at two?
I put Purdy at two. I put CJ Stroud at one because I was completely wrong on CJ Stroud. That kid is fucking
Well, and
balling.
I think the everything we just said that goes against Bryce Young, you can make the same argument for him. I mean, he's got Tank Dell, Robert Woods, Nico Collins. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
these are not world beaters, high profile receiving options. He's getting the ball out to for it, but he is straight up balling
Balling. Mm-hmm.
out there right
Mm-hmm.
now. I mean, he's getting 300 yards a game with a bunch of average Joes. That's probably an understatement a little bit,
It's crazy.
but damn, what he's able to do in that offense right now, I can't believe
Impressed.
it.
I think that the difference between CJ and Bryce to me, CJ can see the field. It's clear. CJ can see the field, and it's making a world of difference. The game isn't too fast for him right now. As far as it just looks a little different with Bryce. But I was wrong on CJ. I was wrong a lot. I was wrong on CJ, and I'm really impressed by that kid. I'm really impressed by Brock, man. I don't know if it's the system, but I don't fucking care. That kid has won me over.
It's frustrating because I have so many shares of Trey Lance going this offseason. And it's just, I've been wanting to see Brock Purdy fail so damn bad. Oh my God, it's been killing me, but I have to give it to him. I mean, he is just wanting to see him fail, and he just shows up every week, makes every
Every
throw.
week.
It's not
Hmm.
sexy. It's not really that pretty overall for it,
But you
but
gotta
he
fucking
makes every throw
respect
that
it.
he needs to, and you just gotta be like tip your hat to the kid. And I think he's getting better as well. This Cowboys game, like I just that team is. I
Tip
think
your
that's the
hat.
best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Hands down. Hands down. Agreed. That was a quite a showing and quite a disappointment from the Cowboys. So I know it's a lot of Cowboy fans out there, but one of them is not me. So all right, what else we got over here? Let me see. We are still in us from not addicted. I like this league. I think this league still is it's gonna have to grow. It's gonna have to be some active movement. I think there's gonna be some movement at the top, but right now it's retirement squad is your gig to lose right now, my guy. Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelsey, if he can stay healthy. You know, I don't I don't think any squads is extremely too strong, but I like this. I like this league. Sorry, that's all I
That
got
is
to
a good
say.
league.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
it's a good one.
All right. What we got next? We got if you ain't first, you last. All right. This league is turning into a fucking dogfight over here. It may be top. I don't even think it's top heavy. It's a fucking dogfight. fin it to win it. Suggestion, whatever your name is, kid. That's to you, my guy. That's to you, my guy. I think you are set up pretty good until Tua has his annual concussion, and then we'll see. But you have the right squad for the scoring system between the what do they call it? The two the stack with Tua and Tyreek. Tyreek is perfect for the escalator system here. He'll go off and give you about 50, 60 points, which is insane. What did he give you? 57 points last week. you
He's
know,
got three of the golden gods here the first five games of the season with Nico Collins. Actually,
right?
more than that, four. Nico Collins, Tua, Puka Nakua, who's had the best start of a rookie season of all time, and David Montgomery. I mean, you think of this. I mean, Montgomery in week 5 had 36.9. Week 4, he had 42.10. It's like those are four of arguably the highest beyond projected scores of the league right there. I mean, that's a hell of a start to raise your team up.
Speaking of, I know we were just talking about trades. I think he just made a trade for Puka. I believe it was yesterday. The guy is I know I keep referencing Dion, but the guy keeps saying he coming.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. So he got Puka for Jaden Reed, Marvin Mims, and a 2024 third.
He's all in. He's all in. I mean, it's a good trade. It's a damn good trade. But he's definitely all in. I think he had traded for Derrick Henry a couple days ago as well. So yeah, he's definitely trying to come in there. And
He's got the ammunition to do it.
yeah, I know. And I think Spencer, Legion of Boom there, he's still putting up heavy numbers. It's leaning definitely on
Well,
that defense.
I think that's the matchup of the week right there. Farmerwaj and Legion of Boom. I mean,
You see,
for being 1-4, he's had a little bit of tough
bad,
luck.
a lot of bad luck actually.
He's 1475. He is fourth in the league in scoring, and he's in 10th right now.
I mean, I think if he can still pull off a last place in as far as the playoffs to get in the sixth spot. He just has to
Yeah.
really continue, you know, work being active, scoring
Yeah.
points. But he can still pull off that sixth spot. It's still definitely within reason. Definitely within reason. But it's thick, man. It's thick, man. I love this league. The defense is strong. The shit talking is there. The activity is there. What other traits have we had in this league? Let's take a look here. Let's see.
You had Miles Sanders and a third for Henry. That was the Derrick Henry trade you just brought up.
Black Star and Thanos traded Mike Williams. Yeah, there. No, you I think you traded with Black Star as well. Got I think you gave him sent to Michael Wilson. I think you got a 2024
Yeah.
second. Stacking your farm system. What else we have going on here? All right. Maybe I
Oh,
was
the
wrong. I
big
thought it was
one.
more.
That was
Thought it,
the nope. There was a big one on there. It was Sluggo got a 2024 first, 2024 second, 2024 third, and 2024 first shin bones for CMC and A Chain.
ah, there it is. Yeah, you're right. Well, now, what you think about this one here? I think, and compared to your trade that you made with any given Sunday with A Chain in there, I think it was A Chain and Benji.
Yeah, pretty close. The one I got is going to be a top three pick. So and my rationalization that one was if I get Marvin or Caleb Williams, I'm going to feel pretty good on where I'm at coming
Mm-hmm.
out of that one. Um, CMC, he's got probably, he's what, 26, 27. He's coming up on,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely a Winnell playing. He's probably still got a good 2, 3 years left in him.
And that's Shanny
I
Bones
mean,
first round.
to really only get two first and a second and a third, I mean, that's pretty good value for Thanos
That's a
fantasy. If you
that's a
get
top
both of those backs right now, that's
that's a
not
top three
bad.
pick, by the way. It's gonna be a top three first, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would say it's pretty close to my trade.
Mm.
I'm good with it on both sides. Both trying to do separate things for it. I get it from both angles. I have no issue with it.
I love the blockbusters, man. I love getting the activation on my phone, saying the trade's been completed. I see a blockbuster. I just hate it's not with me though. But well, I'm looking forward to Crash and Finish to win it this week. I think that's gonna be a good matchup. Like you said, Legion of Boom and Farmwell. I'm pulling for you, Farmwell. I'm pulling for you, my guy. All right, what we got up next here? I think it's Pigskin Pervs. This league is fun over here.
I'm
Um,
so pissed at myself I didn't jump into that one. That's the one league I didn't get into.
oh, that is
You
right.
were showing me your in real life draft going on. I was trying to get you to jump on the Jordan Love bandwagon, but you refused.
I just couldn't do it, and now I'm stuck with Kenny Pickett, who's having me on the edge of my seat every Sunday. So I'm gonna just keep hoping he keep throwing those 40-yard bombs. Take it. But I
Let
don't
me take a
know.
look here at this one.
Yeah. Go ahead and take a look. But I'm gonna talk about the most active guy in here. You might get beat or was it Trollover? I fucking love this guy. He is sending out trades every 5 minutes. He is active. And he lost, I believe, Dobbins and just now getting Taylor back, I believe. I think he might have traded him away, but this guy took major injuries and he's still at the top. So I fucking commend him. You got Lamar Jackson, Etienne, Karen Williams, who I don't know how he stashed him away, but that was a good stash. Devontae Smith, Ingram, and his defense has been showing up. Nick Bosa, Miles Garrett, Roquan Smith.
Mhm.
He's been balling this year. I like that. Let's
I
go
was
E.
double tap lost. I was double tap lost 2 games. Holy shit.
Let me see. Let
He's
me
got
take a look at double tab.
1,577 points.
Oh shit! Yeah. God damn. Him and Spencer over here, retirement home.
Yeah, him and Millsap.
Yeah.
Those two are above everyone by two 200 plus.
Let me see. I think
Wow.
Millsap just lost. I thought JJ was over there. I guess I'm wrong.
Millsap's points against would be
Oh
the
yeah, he
third
does.
highest scoring team in the league.
How does Millsap have Tyreek, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, and JJ? And he picked up Zay Flowers too. I like that kid. I like that kid. That kid has a lot of fucking grit. I like him a lot. I like Spencer a lot. But yeah, that
Looks like
team is fuck.
you're getting some narrow wins in this one here, Teak.
Oh man, I don't even know how I'm 4-1 in this league. You know, my teams
But
have
the good thing
been
about your roster here is your
very
talent hasn't produced.
at all,
Like
at all.
you're gonna get the chase push here. You're gonna get the Amon Ra push. You're gonna get a lift from Hawkinson coming up here. So for you to be 4-1 with the lack of production you've already have,
Been
it's
a blessing.
sometimes a little luck is a good thing.
I think this past week, a lot of my teams kind of really showed what I drafted them to do. It had, I got Christian Watson a lot of places, Bryce Hall a lot of places, so Jamar a
Oh
lot of
my God.
places.
I was thinking about you on that horse collar tackle last night when I saw him just lunge at Watson in the back of his neck. I'm like, oh, and probably 100 points combined for all the Teak leagues with Watson.
Yeah, Watson kind of fucked me a little bit this year, but he's looking like that alpha number one de facto. So I'll take it. It's a slow start, but I'll take that in dynasty. But As far as pigskin purse, I'm lucky to be where I'm at, and I do know with TJ, Jamar, St. Brown, and a couple of young quarterbacks, my best days are in front of me. And hell, Nick Bolton hasn't even really been doing what he's supposed to be doing yet. So I like my best days in front of me, but I'm like you, double tap, retirement home. Those guys look strong, but let's go I think he's just getting by over here, but he's still doing his damn thing. I like what he's doing over here. I don't think his team produced the way he saw it was going to produce, but with Cooper Cup coming back, I think he's gonna be okay. Who else we got over here? I mean, it's the same old characters. I like yeah, Petey Boy down there with his squad, Crash, Past to Life. Oh, not Past Life, Pats for Life. Black Star. That's the thing. I think I Black Star. I usually see him at the top everywhere. He is not at the top over here. So let's check in and see what's going on over here. So Geno Smith, James Cook, Morris Waddle. Let me check some of his games out here.
Not good when I'm trying to cycle through 62 leagues here to find this league, and now I found it.
Oh no, you're good. I'm just looking at Black Star trying to see what's going on. I think he's had a tough road so far. Tough road so far, but no worries, my man.
The good thing with this one, but with this league, I mean, you have 10 league or 10 teams in the fight. I think Arvin Legends and Petey Boy are playing long term here, but there's 10 teams here that could make the playoffs and have a good run.
Say nine. Say nine. Yeah, yeah, you're right. This is a deeper league. This is a deeper league. Only a game or two sets everything apart. That's gonna come down to like the last few games here.
Yeah, even Crash. I know he doesn't have the great point total here, but he still has Parsons. He's got Petrie, got Luvu on defense, and then he's going to get more production on CD. Garrett Wilson. I think with Zach Wilson, the last couple weeks coming up, Garrett Wilson's going to come back to life. Yep, Puka. He's gonna have better days.
Yeah,
That's a good league. That's a real good league.
I agree. I always forget Crash always has amazing receiving cores. How did he get Puka? I didn't even know how he snuck that in there. Okay, yeah, let me see what I'm looking forward to this week. All right. Double tap in Avengers. I like that one. Let's see. I got a battle with Crash. I don't know, man. I think, like you said, this league is pretty fucking even. I just need Let's Go E and you may get beat to go down. That's what I do know. Get back in first place. All right.
There you go.
I think we got winner take all now. Winner takes all. This is the league that I think is fucking stacked. This league is a dog fight. I think, yeah, they're like Pigskin Purse. There's 10 teams that can legitimately make the playoffs over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is Lou and what is it the soldier guy 1,600 points, but they're both sitting at 8 and 9. Oof. Oh my gosh.
Absurd.
I think with the winner taking everything, there's
Well,
no second or
look at
third.
their points against. Their points against her. 1750 and 1740.
Dumb, stupid, crazy. Yeah, it's
So
hard to fight against that.
there's going to be some regression against the mean there. So they'll get back up.
They think getting everybody that's this league is a dog fight. Yo, Millie
Yeah,
Sapp
you
is
got
on top damn near every.
seven squads, 1,500 points or more in this one.
Yeah. I think the no second or third place really made this league super fucking competitive. I noticed Spencer is like near or at the top everywhere. That kid is. I like him. He's scrappy. Hats for life. I like what you're doing over here.
That's for life. Yeah.
401. I think he said he was
Ooh,
going to make some bad decisions over in this league, but I think his decisions are turning out pretty good. I like him over
gonna be
here.
hurting a little bit here with JJ being out for a few weeks.
Everybody is. JJ
I
and
I have
Bobby.
a I have a bad feeling, Atique.
Mhm.
JJ may not be playing much more this year.
I think they said,
The Vikings, if the Vikings are 2-5,
yeah, I
or
think they
no,
said they'll shut him down. If
2-7, he might be getting shut down for that $40 million a year contract he's going to be getting.
I agree 100%. So that's gonna be bad news for a lot of people. Uh, what is this? Fabulous Baker Boys. The kid is putting up a lot of points this year. He's gonna have trouble in the future because he has an old squad, but he is definitely putting up points this year. A very old squad. Matthew Stafford, Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry, Thielen, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Darren Waller, Austin Eckler. God damn, he was putting up points. Has to work on that defense a little bit, I think, but he can hang his hat on that offense. Got Josh Allen on the defense, and IDP, Van Der Esch, Miles Garrett, Buckner, Alex Singleton, Bradley Chubb, Julian Blackman, Kevin Bird. Yeah, I definitely will work on that defense over time, though.
Yeah, Millsap squad here. He's got either super young or super old. He's got a little bit of best of both worlds. He's got
See,
Devontae Adams, Kamara, and then he also has Garrett Wilson, Olave, Micah Parsons. He's stacked on defense. Parsons, Alulakun, Roquan Smith, excuse me,
I think this is the
Okariki.
league. Defense really fucking matters, I believe. So, yeah,
Yeah,
good job,
he's
kid.
gonna he's gonna be there near the end.
Linebackers galore. Okay. Yeah, I think we got off track here, but I love recapping those leagues. Case, you got any bets this week?
Yeah, let me do a little different this week. So for those guys who aren't in states with betting markets, you've probably seen some things come up on Prize Picks or Underdog Fantasy, Jock Market. So those are all different kind of prop plays or parlays you can play in the states where they don't have legalized gambling. So I'm going to go through a few of those this week. On Jock Market, you can get Patrick Mahomes over 240.5. That feels like a pretty much of a slam dunk. Pacheco under 17.5 carries. I mean, within that offense, he does get to see the bulk of the runs, but he's still not necessarily the bell cow with having CEH and McKinnon. So I feel really good about under 17.5 there. Um, Give me 1 second here. Brees Hall over 61.5 rushing yards. I think he's starting to find his groove, and with Zach Wilson opening things up within that offense, they're not going to be able to be stacking the box there all day as well.
I like Brees Hall. He's another one that pops for me. I've been waiting for him to come around, and when he hit
Yeah.
that 75-yard run, I was screaming hallelujah. Thank God.
I would start taking a look at too, as some of these guys either are going on injury or coming off injury. Start looking at what those props are. So it's like KJ Osborne. I'd start looking at what his props are this week with JJ coming out. People forget that He can play all three. He can play the X, the Y, or the Z in that offense. So you got Addison typically taking the ball over the top. But if you're getting catches or the over on yards, take a look at KJ Osborne this week and see what you're getting on him with the yards. And I'm gonna start scaling back on the Puka Nakua a little bit with Cooper Cup coming in for it. I think he's still gonna have some pretty big games, but I would be start looking at that over under has been going pretty high there the last few weeks and start scaling back on the under a bit.
I do think Puka's going to come back to earth a little bit, but he didn't seem too phased by Cup last week. So I don't know, man. Sean McVay, he's whispering something in that kid's ear.
And we got to highlight our boy.
Who's that?
We got to see. There's going to be a day. I don't know if it's this week, but I'd say in probably 2 or 3 weeks, our boy Jamison Williams will go off. He will go off. He's
Yo,
gonna. They're gonna lull him to sleep, and then out of nowhere, we're gonna be seeing a 180-yard, 2 touchdown day in Jamison Williams. It's gonna come. It's gonna happen. If not, we're just gonna both look like idiots. So we might as well try to
I love
stay
me
on
some
that bandwagon.
Jameson. I love me some Jameson, but I think it's really hard for receivers. The kid's basically been out the league for 2 years with the injury and suspension, maybe a year and a half. So I think it's going to take him some time to get there. But I agree with you. Just the kid's speed is undeniable. You know, he had a higher. I know it doesn't mean anything when you get to the league, but he had a higher grade coming out than Garrett Wilson. You know, so I agree with you.
He
And
was gonna be the first receiver off the board last year in the draft, pre-national title game.
yeah,
Like, it's not even just the speed. I mean, he's got elite route running ability. I mean, he can do it
separation, great
all.
separation.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
That's you got any more bets for us, Casey?
No, that's it for today. But if you just even want to dabble in the betting market a little bit and you don't have legalized gambling in your state, take a look at some of those websites. It's Prize Picks, Underdog Fantasy, Jock Market, and then Sleeper even has some too out there. So it's easy to deposit your money into it, and they're
So
pretty fun.
me and my wife was just talking about having to go to Tennessee to bet. I like that. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm coming down from the buzz a little bit. I don't have cotton mouth anymore. Great, great, great. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. All right. I think we're gonna skip grind my gears this time in light of our guy Rim. But I do want to say one thing that grinds my gears though. Sending let me ask you this. What kind of trades, what kind of value do you give Jamar Chase right now? I know we're gonna talk about trade value here a little bit, but let's use Jamar Chase as an example. What's your value on him as far as a trade? What would you let him go for? How many first?
I don't think his value changes still. I've seen him go for a little less. I know we had our blockbuster trade preseason fatigue, but my perception on him as well as Burrow has not changed at all. He's still the same person. He's out there. You are either going to be all in on Jamar Chase, or you're going to be not as high as maybe some others. But I think my opinion in terms of valuation for it. Now, I think there was a little bit. What I will say, I think there is more separation between him and Justin Jefferson. JJ is in a completely different tier, whereas preseason they were both the 1A, 1B for the most part. But I would still say in startups going into next year, he's still in that category, bottom of the first round, top
So
of second maybe at the latest. But I can't see him dropping out of the first round next year.
I have been getting some crazy, crazy offers for Jamar Chase. Let me ask you this. What do you think about as far as Bateman, Zay Flowers, a 2024 first, and 2024 second, and those are back end. Those will be back end picks for Jamar Chase.
All of those for Jamar Chase?
Bateman, Zay Flowers, one 2024 first and one 2024 second.
And those are late in the round?
Correct.
Well, so when you get those offers, I have to compartmentalize those a little bit. So if you ever get one of these offers of all these pieces, right? You have a young stud, Zay Flowers. He's a very polarizing figure right now. I think in the fantasy community, I've seen him as high as the 108, and I've seen him drop into like 202, 203 preseason wise. And I like to always go back to the preseason because that's what we're grading on going into it. Things change throughout the year, right? So I think he's leaning more towards the top end of that grade so far. He is a sexy pick. He is fun to watch. He's he gets the ball and get the ball out to him quick and he can go. Um and then Bateman is in the realm of high production out of college, coming out of University of Minnesota, fits that prototypical size, 6'2", runs a sub 4.40, but has had a hard time staying healthy. The talent's all there. He has that elite profile build. People forget about him as a whole, but if you're looking at someone you can make a bet on, great. And then you have to evaluate those picks, right? Bottom end of the first, you're going to be looking at those RB4, RB5, maybe a Junkins right now in that range. Um, and so, I mean, you're trying to put a name to a player in terms of what type of grade that you're going to get, but then you also have to look at what's your starting offense going to look like. Are you in a deep league? Are you in a league to where you need to have elite production out of certain players in those spots? And then I think that's where you start calibrating, what your current roster is, your makeup of it, and then do you need that broader depth to fill it out as a whole? Or do you need that top end talent? So I don't know if it's necessarily a, a yay or a nay for it. It's really what your team needs are, where you're at for this given year for it, and if you really need to fill out the roster with the other talent for it. But I don't think the valuation is bad. I think the valuation is about right. It's just weighing out what your squad needs for this year and for the long run.
Fucking love it because it reminds me that everybody values players differently. That's why I love these negotiations. But if it's for a player like Chase, all I know is you better include two first round picks. Don't throw me somebody like Bateman. If you come in for Chase, I read something with two first round picks. I think that for the most part, we can be fair and try to make trades for each side. I get it for most players, but when we're talking elite players, we're talking JJ, we're talking Chase, that those type of players, I think there's going to be an overpay involved. Me and you know that personally, but I think I think that you have to have a certain expectation. When you're talking about, league winning players, players that kind of put your team over top, that's usually when you're making those type of trades. You're thinking of winning your league. So you're going to have to pay some type of overpay. So that's the way I usually value those type of trades. For the most part, I could speak, trade calculator, but when we're speaking elite players, I'm more so going to be thinking, you're going to have to blow me out the water. So I think.
So I got one to throw back at you because this person was creeping into that territory
Mhm.
preseason, especially towards the end of it. But where do you put Garrett Wilson's dynasty value right now?
Mm, mm. I think I would still go off of what he did last year. Um, he didn't. I believe he topped 1,000 yards last year with Garrett Wilson throwing him the ball, and he was a rookie. So the talent's there, and you still see it there with him this year. So I'm gonna keep Garrett Wilson the same exact place he was this offseason. He's still an alpha receiver in my eyes. Still a a wide receiver one in my eyes. So I would definitely keep him there. And whether it's going to be Aaron Rodgers next year or maybe invested in a quarterback in the draft down the line, they're going to get him a quarterback. You know, I don't know if Robert Shula is going to be there next year, but they definitely still have a squad where they're a playoff team. They can compete for a Super Bowl if they get a quarterback. So I think that problem is going to be fixed sooner rather than later. So Garrett Wilson, I'll still keep him there. What about you?
I fully agree. I just pulled off a trade for him in one of the leagues. I think it was Kyron Williams and like a Jahan Dotson, I think is what I gave up to get him. And there's maybe another player involved too. But I'm buying Garrett Wilson everywhere I can right now because especially if you're going for the long term for it, he he everything he does, he almost does at an elite level. Route running, average depth of target. He can play all three spots, the X, Y, and Z. He's almost uncoverable in the red zone in man-to-man coverage. I mean, he is right up there from a skill set standpoint. I had JJ in a tier by himself, Chase in that next tier, and Garrett Wilson. I was forecasting was going to be in that same tier as Chase was this year, with the assumption of Rodgers to make him show the world what he can do. So I think from a skill set standpoint, he's there. I don't know from a production level, that's going to be tough to sell on, but I still think he's got that potential to be in that tier with Chase.
I agree 100%.
Probably more so next year, but
I agree
I
100%.
see it.
Take, take long term with Wilson, but talent's there. I'm a talent person. I don't pass on the eye test a lot, but yeah. Let's see what else we got here. All righty. What are your? Oh yes, right. Who's popping? I know we talked about A Chain, but who's popping? Who's passing the eye test for you? You know, who? What are some young? Who is some young talent that you have your eyes on for next year?
Well, I already said one with Nico Collins. He kind of
Mm,
came to my radar in some of the conversations with the Chronic and listened to his podcast a little bit too. So I've been keeping an eye out for him, and he just fits really well within that offense. I'd be pretty concerned going into um, the off season, but if they don't still fill in much around that receiving core, I think he's going to have, you know, higher end wide receiver two type production as long as he can keep that volume within that offense. So that's a big one I'm taking a look at. And just even looking at some of the tight ends. Um, I know it's not usually a sexy take in year one for some of these rookies, but Sam Laporta, he's getting targets. He's balling out there. I know it wasn't sexy watching any Iowa Hawkeye football games last year for from an offense standpoint, but he's getting the volume for it. And I think Musgrave's also going to be another one that's getting more and more volume as the season goes on. So if
mhm.
you can get those boys still relatively reasonable price, I would look at them. Addison, right now may be no better time than ever to try to get Jordan Addison because he's going to be featured in this Vikings offense for these next few weeks that come up for it. KJ is going to get all the underneath. Hawkinson's going to get his shares for it, but that Vikings offense is going to get down in games, and they are going to take more and more deep shots. And this is now more than ever a good time for Addison to get in that offense flowing. I'm a big rookie guy. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be one that I know some people are out there either selling low or trying to buy low, but this second half of the year, and especially as the Lions keep going with this trend and be, looking at maybe top three teams in the NFC, Gibbs, I think, is really going to flourish down the stretch. in that offense, and it's still going to be a good stash going into next year. He's not showing the production right now. He's not getting the touches right now. But in all reality, let's think about this for a second. Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery from a skill set standpoint. I'm going to trust the eyes. I'm going to trust the skill set that his day is going to come and greener pastures is going to be down the road for him. So those are a few off the top of my head for longer term stashes, and still try to buy them while you can.
Yeah, I think Gibbs, he's averaging what is it still 4.6 yards a carry? And if so, that's insane for a rookie. So just got to put the ball in his hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as who's popping for me, whew, it's tough, but I know everybody's gonna say I love JSN. He's not popping, but I'm gonna say buy low for him right now because Tyler Lockett contract is up at the end of the season. They run a lot of 12 personnel, and once Lockett is out the way, you're gonna have JSN out there with DK in that 12 personnel, and it's just gonna be more targets. And we talked a lot about Garrett Wilson. We talked a lot about Jamison Wilson, but back when everybody was at Ohio State, we all know who paced him. Uh, you know, Jamison had to leave Ohio State to get more playing time, because that receiving core was so stacked over there. And, JSN, he paced all of them. So I say don't give up on JSN. Just give it a year. I am not one of the people who are, the modern NFL where just every rookie's supposed to produce right now. You know, give some of these guys time to develop. I know they might have been really good back in college, but Bryce, JSN, give them a little time to get used to the speed of the game. And I just think JSN is going to pop next year when Tyler Lockett's not there. So that's the only one I got for tonight.
I actually have two more in terms of guys who I would stash for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Do not sell Kendre Miller. Do not
Mm,
sell Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller is, can't remember if he's turned 21 yet or if he's still 20, but they invested high draft capital for a running back in that position, and he does everything you want out of a 3-down running back. And coming into that offense next year with Kamara potentially no longer being there, Jamal Williams will be 29 next year for it. That's the guy I would be trying to buy low right now. And the second one, he started off really strong, but he's kind of tapered off the last couple of weeks. I think Marvin Mims is
yeah.
a sneaky good for that offense, especially beyond this year. And if they're taking offers for Sutton or Jerry Judy right now to get some more draft capital, he could be potentially featured in that offense next year as well. He's looked. I wasn't a big Marvin Mims guy coming into this year for it. He's not my size slash skill set profile, but he's been silky smooth in and out of his breaks and route running, and even some of these over the top catches that they've been finding ways to keep him in the offense too.
Yeah, he was definitely a down the field receiver at Oklahoma. I liked him coming out, because of all the time he had at Oklahoma in that offense. It seemed like he was a number one receiver at Oklahoma for damn near ever. So uh, he had I think he was only second to JSN as far as success rate coming out of college. So I think the sky is the limit for Mims. I don't think he's just a down the play receiver. He is, like you said, that route run. I like his route running. He had a lot of time to work on his route running after Hollywood Brown left, and Marvin Mims, he's going to be a good one.
It's hard to tell in the Big 12 because no one plays defense in those secondaries. It's just
I agree.
400 yards a game. It's almost as bad as the Pac-12, but not quite as bad.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
We
Well,
need to have a segment here to even just talk about 2024 rookies coming up because this Pac-12 quarterback class. I know this is the dying of the Pac-12, but it's been
Look,
some pretty insane quarterback play in
look,
college football this year. So I'm already, as you know, with my team, I like to do these farm systems as a whole. I'm getting excited on this class that's coming up. So one of these weeks we might have to do a little preview of next year.
I think that's a good idea because I think this 2024 draft class as a whole is projected to be one of the better draft classes in decades, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty packed outside of quarterback as well. So I'm excited. I think that's a good
Mhm.
idea. I think it's a good idea, Casey. Well, my man, it's been a pleasure. I think we're gonna call it a wrap tonight. I
Yeah.
think getting a little sleepy from the tree, man. I don't know why, but I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate you coming on tonight, Casey. It's been a pleasure. You come on anytime you want to, brother.
Anytime, my man. All right. We'll get some rest and hope everyone has a good week. My week's coming up. Make sure you check your lineups early. Have a good week, everyone.
Sweet, sweet.